تستضيف مدينة الرياض خلال الفترة من 28 وحتى 29 من أبريل الجاري الاجتماع الخاص للمنتدى الاقتصادي العالمي.
أهلا بكم على متن طائرة السعودية.
You see, there are moments in history that must be captured when the stakes are high. This is one of those moments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this moment, to this place, to this land of dreamers, innovators, risk takers, and doers. Welcome to the Global Growth Platform. Welcome to Riyadh.
And I think what's important in the broader context is that we make sure that it is competition, not conflict.
The problem is not competition, the problem is confrontation. And there is confrontation because there are many and more poles, actors.
Our objective is to link the region with the world and to be able to put the resources of the region together so we can create synergies that have a positive impact on all the inhabitants of the region.
We're at an inflection point. There are fundamental changes taking place in terms of geopolitical competition, but also global challenges that no country can effectively address alone, where the decisions that we make in these moments are likely to have repercussions not just for the next few years, but for decades to come.
The initiative taken by the Kingdom and the issues being addressed and focused, of course, with the support of the World Economic Forum, would be of enormous benefit to us and ASEAN as a region.
We are not at a tipping point, but a turning point in humanity, where we're moving from what I would coin, and I think the World Economic Forum soon is going to release it, shifting from the industrial revolutions to the intelligence revolution.
So the use of technology, including AI, I think will change things, and we hope will narrow the gaps that we see in terms of access to health services.
And we're just at the beginning of that investment cycle of rebuilding infrastructure around the world. And a lot of it's going to have to be done around AI and the build out of AI, which is going to be trillions of dollars of investing, whether it's going to be investing in data, in chips. And it's going to rechange how we do everything. And through the technological changes, we're going to see more advancements.
The next phase of the AI development is going to be on the creativity tool, particularly for the AI for scientific discovery. I think this is going to be a huge change because our society is driven by the scientific discovery and then technology. Of course, a part of that.
So it's inspiring to see the region with leadership from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at this pivotal moment, addressing tough challenges.
Unless we tackle these two problems, we're going to have difficult time. We may end up this decade being remembered as the turbulent 20s or the tepid 20s, and what we actually want is transformational 20s.
Many of the challenges are interconnected, all require cooperative solutions to solve. And the Middle East is at the heart of shaping security, energy, and development paths forward.
With great power comes great responsibility. Don't close the channels of diplomacy.
When we are talking about inclusivity, it's not just a word, a nice word, and with a nice meaning. It's a lot of work to do.
The whole conversation around the sort of the social contract between business, entrepreneur, government is sort of blending itself into this ecosystem. And what I'm seeing as somebody that's been working with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they're really excited to take on this challenge.
The cultural heritage is the people, and that's your wealth. And so when you look at the cultural heritage of the kingdom, for many, many years, His Excellency Hamid Faiz was just telling us about this, we had it. We just never not only used it, appreciated it, or loved it. And right now what you're watching is a renaissance of this country falling in love with its heritage, this country discovering its heritage, and inviting people onto that discovery is what changes minds.
You need to focus, first of all, on your own people and the human capital development. This is a long-term play that is critical.
Transformation that has happened in manufacturing in the last 25 years is actually in favor of countries like Saudi Arabia, where we can see that scale is no longer an issue. We can actually produce with much lower scale.
We decided as part of Vision 2030 to unlock this sector and to share, let's say, the treasures that Saudi Arabia and the region have with the other part of the world.
In the basic understanding of cancer, I believe, in our lifetime, we're going to see most cancer being able to be taken care of, which would be a wonderful, hope for humanity. As you know, for so many families, we have all been touched by cancer, two loved ones, and I think if we could live in a world where cancer is treatable and not a death sentence, that will.
What the Gulf and its leadership will do in the next 10 years is going to be breathtaking, to allow people to come all over the world. My particular opinion, after 50 years, is that in a very short period of time, you're going to see the average length of stay, to what His Excellency said, in the region improve not 1 day, but 2 and 3 days.
We have set a target to ourselves to create 10,000 jobs through the startups that we support. And a few years after we set this goal, we had to revise it. Why? Because we already achieved it.
That today, I think the first and foremost problem is global inequities.
We all realize that industries will change fundamentally, but we don't know exactly how.
On the positive side, you look at the jobs that are created for science and math, digital architecture, clean energy technologies, cyberspace, the linkages of everything that's now happening in the quantum space and what's coming. There's extraordinary jobs created by this opportunity.
In the developing countries who are paying attention to that, paying attention
to education, giving the opportunities for the youth, and taking into consideration an all-inclusive growth. I think for the coming few decades, if the rule of law stays, if the right governance stays, I see a great potential.
And we're still exerting every pressure to ensure that our renewable program will be the pace setter for the whole industry.
Energy transition is a critical priority for everybody, and everybody is working toward achieving that. However, what we need is a realistic energy transition program that is just and inclusive and include everybody.
We're very excited that in the Kingdom today there are more than 80 initiatives taking place with a budget of over $180 billion to demonstrate these technologies and what they can do. And one of the biggest, I would say, green hydrogen production facilities being built in the world is being built in the Kingdom today. Over a 300 square kilometer space that would produce roughly 600 tons of green hydrogen per day.
The AI, the semiconductor industry will accelerate the current industrial policy competitions among the major countries. As you all know, when we talk about homeland economics or economic statecraft, probably the semiconductor industry is foremost prominent example of how major countries are now competing with the industrial policies.
Concessional financing by the multilaterals at scale will really help. And I think it's, if we really mean that we do not want to leave anybody behind as the world develops, as the fourth industrial revolution takes off, as we move to AI and generative AI, we need to increase concessional financing so as not to leave so many countries behind.
Benefits everywhere, but it's not only AI for AI, it's AI connected to the physical world, and it goes into much bigger loop of digitization. And all of this is happening as we speak. So the train is leaving from different stations, and we better board on it.
This is not the first time the world has faced challenges or issues that are multidimensional that you have to take into account and address a number of competing interests. I think it is unique in that we are attempting to do it at a scale that in the past has never been attempted, and we're attempting to do it in an area that is so critically important to people's lifestyles, their prosperity, and the importance of it to economic growth.
We are really at the critical stage of the human development. That all the bad things happening surrounding us, the climate change, nature loss, and all disastrous things, are basically telling us that we are on the collision course of our human economic development with natural capital or natural system.
We're very proud to be joining the AI Global Alliance that's been launched by the World Economic Forum. The Kingdom will be joining this alliance as of now.
Today is a remarkable day for us in Saudi Space Agency. We signed an agreement with WEF to establish Center for Space Future. This center is focusing on multiple things that will help to establish a global platform to engage more both public and private sector in the discussions.
On a final note, it is my pleasure, with great excitement, to announce our partnership with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
We are pleased today to announce
that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, represented by KS Relief, is signing a joint cooperation program with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
We want to take a step forward in terms of addressing the challenges of ocean. And I'm very much delighted to launch the Regenerative Blue Economy Challenge.
Welcome and thank you for being here today as we together mark a critical milestone in the Kingdom's sustainability journey with the launch of the Sustainability Champions Program.
I would like to thank Your Highness and Your Excellencies for taking the time to be here.
Allow me to thank all of you for your devoted engagement, to thank Minister Faisal and his team for the great collaboration, and a big thank you to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for hosting us here.